Hey YouTube, it's Marita and welcome to another edition of the Nurse Lounge. And in this edition, we are going to talk about things that you should not do as a new nurse. New grad, new nurse, anything like that. So if you want to see my 5 suggestions for things that you should not be doing as a new nurse, or maybe should be doing in some instances, we'll see, then stay tuned. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down. And welcome back. So you want to know about what tips I have that you as a new nurse should not be doing? Here we go. We're going to dive right in. Number 1, I am going to be looking down from time to time, so don't mind that. I want to stay on track. But number 1 is not make large purchases. And so just know that sometimes some facilities will hire you as a new grad, but pay you RN pay or LPN pay or whatever they're going to pay you as. So one of those two, obviously, RN or LPN pay, even though you have not taken your boards yet. So that sounds great, right? Well, this is the issue with that. If you go and make large purchases, such as a new house or condo or a new car, and you are not successful that first time passing the boards, then they have the ability to knock your pay back down to tech pay. And there's a big difference between tech pay and nurse pay, typically. So that's something you don't want them to do. So therefore, don't buy anything that's large. Story time. So I finished in 2004. And me and this other nurse graduated at the same time. She went to another school that I went to. But nonetheless, we both started our jobs as graduate nurses in the OB department. And I did not purchase anything. I kept my old raggedy car. I stayed in my own apartment until I actually passed the boards. And then I moved. She, on the other hand, purchased herself a new 2005. Now, mind you, this is in 2004. She purchased a new 2005 Volvo, which a Volvo back then was like a Mercedes-Benz today. So that's how big a Volvo was. And she had a 2005. So she had a 2005 in the year 2004 Volvo. And she had just bought her a new condo. All that with her new pay. Now, mind you, that sounds great, right? Well, guess what? She didn't pass the boards. So the hospital docked her pay back down to tech pay. You think she could make those payments with tech pay? She couldn't. So she ended up turning her car back in. So that's something I recommend you do not do. Do not purchase or make large purchases when you first come out of school, even if you're getting RN pay or LPN pay, because I guarantee you if they don't allow you more than 1 or 2 chances or 1 chance, you're going to be having your pay cut, and you don't want that. You don't want that anyway, but if it happens, it's good to have happened and not made large purchases than it would be to do what she did. All right, so number 2, be leery of sign-on bonuses. So what do I mean by that? So a sign-on bonus is basically where they're giving you an extra incentive to come to their hospital or wherever facility to work. If a job offers you a sign-on bonus, be mindful it's a reason. They can't get people under normal circumstances. They don't have people flocking to their facility to work if they're giving out sign-on bonuses. That means they are desperate. And if they are desperate, it's because people keep leaving for some reason. And if people keep leaving for some reason, you best to believe it's reasons as to why you may not really want a job there to begin with. So do some research about the facilities that you pick to work at. Now, mind you, every hospital or facility has skeletons in its closet. There's no perfect facility at all. But when they start offering you these $5,000 and $10,000 sign-on bonuses, believe you me, you're gonna have to be there for a while. And if you're going to take the sign-on bonus, if I were you, I would have a means to pay it back, because otherwise you are trapped for as long as they require you to be contingent upon what your sign-on bonus was. So some facilities say if I give you $4,000, then you will have to work for us for 2 or 3 years or whatever they require, so many years. And if you don't work those years, you are required to pay either a portion or all of it back. Now, mind you, if you are a new grad and you are new and need new money, you may have spent a lot of that money once you get it. But the problem is, do you want to be trapped in a place that you cannot stand, a place that may be treating you bad, a place that may be jeopardizing your license? Of course not. So don't let the money be the reason as to why you stay. Definitely try to find somewhere in which, if they offer a sign-on bonus, I'm not saying don't go to those places. I'm saying be leery and understand that you will have to pay it back. Read the fine print, take the money, put it in the bank, put it in a stash, and then the time that you realize, you know what, I cannot deal with this job anymore, have the money to go ahead and pay back. All I'm saying is just don't be trapped by the job itself where you feel like you have to stay because you have to do so many years and be miserable for that many years. So there's no need to be miserable for 4 years. Just pay the money back if that's the case. Just be leery of those kind of jobs. Like I said, I've been there, done that, where I had a $4,000 sign-on bonus and it was disastrous. Disastrous. And that's another story for another time, so I'm going there today, but I just wanted to say definitely be leery of sign-on bonuses. If you are wanting to get those jobs, definitely, again, I'm repeating myself, I know that, but do your research. Ask former employees, ask patients, what was your experience like? Ask them what was their experience like on that floor. Is it diverse? For me, I find that facilities that are not diverse, I have a harder time at because they're not used to seeing people like me, or they think people like me are different for some reason. But anyway, with that being said, be leery. Number 3, I often hear new graduates say, I'm going to tell them I want this much money when I go get that job. I'm not going to take nothing below this amount. Well, sis, bruh, hang on. If you don't have no experience, you have nothing to negotiate. Think about it. Nurses come a dime a dozen. So what you won't do for that amount, somebody else will do for that amount because they're wanting to get the experience first. So my recommendation is, do not go in saying this is how much money I want to get. I won't take a job unless you offer me at least $20 an hour for this job or whatever it happens to be. Like I said, other nurses will take that job. And again, if you have nothing to negotiate, if you have no experience. Now, I will say this. If you have been a CNA or tech or some entity like that for that same facility, and now you're about to transition into the RN or LPN role, now that you've done that for so many years, then I might give you some wiggle room on that. Because if you've been working for them for this long, making this kind of pay, then you find out that other new grads coming into the facility makes a different pay than you were going to be making, then yes, you need to negotiate, your salary, your wage. I'm speaking only for those who we don't have no experience nowhere. We haven't did anything. And with that being said, we think we can negotiate our salary when, again, there's nothing to negotiate. You have no experience. You have nothing to lever. So I have almost 15 years experience. So when I walk into certain places, I walk in saying, okay, this is what I want my salary to be. But I have accepted jobs for less pay because I wanted the experience that I was going to get from that job, and it wasn't about the money. So you have to kind of know where you are in life regarding that. Sometimes some things are more important than others. For me right now, there's certain times where experience is more important than money. But when I get this doctoral degree, and after I get my experience, so even me, I've been a nurse for almost 15 years. When I finished my doctoral degree in 2020, May 16th is graduation day. When I finished that degree, if I don't have any experience at the doctoral level, at the executive leadership level, I can't walk in talking about I want 150K because I have a doctoral degree. Well, they're going to be like, well, you don't have any experience at this level. So therefore, you're going to get the entry level to this job, which may be $98,000. And what can I say? I can't say, well, I have this degree, so I need, 150K. No, you kind of come in where you come in at. So get the experience first. So go get some experience, then come back and start negotiating things, okay? Now, I will say where I live in Tennessee, we are at will state, which means they don't have a reason. They don't have to have a reason to fire you. So you know what? You come in today and I don't like how you look, you're fired. not necessarily like that. They usually will have a reason, but my point is they don't have to have a reason to fire you. So don't walk in thinking, well, I don't need this job. I don't need this, that, and the other. Oh yeah, you need it because otherwise you wouldn't be there. And nurses come a dime a dozen. So what you don't do, everybody else does. Keep in mind, we're approaching May here. So this is what, February, we're approaching May. That means there's going to be a ton of students who are about to graduate. LPN programs, RN programs, accelerated programs, 2-year programs, 4-year programs. Nurses are coming out the woodwork. And if you live in an area in which that's true, you have several schools that are coming, graduating here in May, then, or May, June-ish, then guess what? You're in competition with these people. So therefore, you may have to take a job that you don't want in terms of pay-wise, or even specialty-wise, until you get your foot in the door and get your experience. Then you move on. All right, number 4. Learn to believe only what you see. Now, what does that mean? This one is so important to me. I have so many nursing students who come to me and say what one nurse did, said, or the other. Okay, but what did she do? Or what did he do? It's not what they say, it's what they do. Believe what you see. Verify things. So for instance, this is the number one thing I get with students. Well, in report, they told me X, Y, and Z. Okay, but you're not about to chart their report. You're about to chart your assessment. So if you're going to chart your assessment, that basically means you have to go assess your patient, and you can use what you heard in report as a baseline, if you will. If it was even accurate, mind you. You don't know how many times I walked into a patient's room after getting a report and half the stuff they said wasn't even true. It could be because they got that patient mixed up with somebody else, or I don't know, they could be facetious. I don't know. But nonetheless, I take what they say as a baseline, and then I go after that and just go do my own assessment. Believe only what you see. After that, then you can say, okay, this is what it is. Do not believe anything else. Next, don't immediately go back to school without experience. This kind of ties back into the whole experience thing. Do not go back to school without experience. So what I mean by that is strictly this. When you graduate from your BSN or whatever program you have, so some people go from the LPN to a bridge program, so they go to RN. Or some people go from the 2-year RN straight back and to go to the BSN. Or some people go from the BSN right back into the MSN. All those things are fine. Do all those things. But go ahead and work and get your experience while you're doing school. There's nothing more than I can stand, especially more so at the master's level. The levels, the undergraduate levels, is one thing. It really doesn't bother me. But when you get advanced practice, if you haven't had, sorry, this is bothering me. If you have a master's degree and you now are about to graduate with your master's degree and you don't have any experience as a nurse, you have not worked at the hospital, haven't worked the floor, there's nothing much you can really tell me. If you have a doctoral degree, because you went from school to school to school to school, you went from your bachelor's straight to the master's, straight to the doctoral degree, and now you are Dr. such and such. But you have not worked as a nurse, you have not worked at all, you have no experience, you are nobody with a title. If I think of a doctor at any level, I think that he or she has some experience to go behind his or her title. If you're going to be master's prepared, have some experience to go behind your title. If you're going to go from the associates to the bachelor's program, bachelor's degree, nurse, have some experience behind your title. There's nothing worse for me than seeing a person who comes tell me, well, I'm Dr. such and such, or I'm a nurse practitioner, but yet I have to tell the nurse practitioner how to do her job or his job because they didn't have any experience. That is so backwards to me. Have some experience. All right, so those are my quick tidbits, short video today on what you should not be doing or should be doing as a new nurse, new grad type situation. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Definitely email me at marita@themelaninrn.com if you have some specific questions regarding nursing that you would like me to answer for my next Q&A. Go follow me on IG. So if you follow me on the Nurse Lounge, it's melanin RN underscore MPN is how you find me. If you happen to like plus size fashion like I do, or you like beauty like I do, I just did an e.l.f. face today. Actually I still have it sitting out right now. e.l.f. foundation I used for the first time today. And if you want to know what I think about this foundation and some other products that I purchased, so you can see what it looks like, then follow me on IG at slay_curves_beauty for plus size fashion, for makeup beauty, for skincare, lifestyle, things like that. So anyway, you can find me multiple different ways. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do the normal routine, you know how this goes. So subscribe, share, comment, like, notification bell, do all those things. Well, I got to go. Until the next time, you all take care.